I'm Kazuyoshi Hisano. Well, let me start with one question. I'd appreciate if you cooperate and raise your hand if that applies to you. So, how many of you have ever had an experience of suddenly waking up in the midnight and couldn't go back to sleep because there was something going on in your mind? Maybe a negative thing. Have you ever gone through such kind of thing? Suddenly waking up in the middle of the night. Thank you. So I've been through that so many times, and I remember that it was a terrible experience. And today, I'm going to show some of my stories to share that we can change that such kind of difficult moments into something positive and very powerful situation. So 16 years ago, I was standing in a meeting room of the office, and other side of the office was dark. No one was there. I was the only person standing there in my room. The place where I was standing was only lit. In front of the whiteboard, like this one, I tried to write something, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I was trying to think about how to get out of this situation. That was hard. I felt like being crushed, and my chest was heavy. And it was winter, so my fingers are very cold. The reason I was put in this position, because I was appointed to be a project leader for a very big project initiative. And I was, of course, very happy and proud to be in that position. But at the same time, I was worried whether I'd be able to handle it. I was just a newcomer for this organization and worked hard. I pushed hard, but of course, I got some wins, but eventually it turned out to be a difficult thing. And all the challenges occurred, like a product issue or customers negotiation gets tough, and also internal communication kind of stuck. And this was a kind of business that requires government or headquarters approval. So everything came together, and that was too big, beyond my capability. And I felt that there's a huge wall here. I can't push, I can't break, I can't climb. There's no way getting out. And that very night, I was standing in front of the whiteboard and trying to figure out whether there is any solution. But I couldn't. I dragged my body back to home. And that night, I couldn't sleep. Maybe I've dozed off at some point and had a little rest, but suddenly I woke up in the middle of the night and I didn't know what time is it, but still I knew it's early, and it was actually 3 a.m. The second hand of the clock was ticking. And I wanted to go back to sleep, of course, but I couldn't. All the negative things going around in my mind, like what will happen if I fail? And I should have done this in that way, or simply I can't do this, and why on earth I said this, or all the things came to me. I was overwhelmed with anxiety. That was one of the toughest moments in my life. And I guess when we encounter the situation like this, we'll have some advices, receive some advice, and one of them is this. Like, let's look at the bright side, like a positive one. I do want to see the positive side, but bright side, if I can see that, it's easy, but I can't see because I'm thinking. Then let's forget about the past. What's done is done. Agree. But I can't forget because the things will automatically come to my mind. I can't stop, so I can't forget. So the third one is the one that actually helped me and is helping me every day. What's next? What's next is a simple but powerful one. That very night, when I was in the bed, 3 a.m., I had a flash idea. I don't know where it came from, but I felt that maybe I should think about the future. And the question that came to me was, what should I do next morning when I go to the office? So I woke up and started writing something on the notebook. I started by first thing that came to my mind, and the second, third, and fourth. It was easy because the project was already behind schedule. There are a lot of things that I could write. And before I knew it, the pages were filled with all the things that I could do. And something amazing have happened. Before I was writing this, my mind was occupied with the things, negative things. Like, I could have done this in that way, but why didn't I do that? Or that kind of thing was really occupying and going around my mind. But after I wrote it, I've totally changed. My mindset has changed to what can I do next mode? I felt like I became a different person. I guess this was one of the very important turning point of my life. Well, I want to switch to other story. And I have a question to you. And I want you to be honest now. We get scared when I've been asked for you to be honest, right? How many of you are over 40? I mean, the age of over 40. Or, all right, I don't see many hands here. With over 50. All right. You remember the days we talked about things over the phone? I mean, the phone, home phone. You have a memory of this? Yeah? So it's about my role for my friends. When I was a kid, I was a person, people want to talk to me because I can give an advice about the relationship. Boys and girls wanted to talk to me to seek for some advice about the relationship with their boyfriend or girlfriend. So frequently, the phone would ring in the middle of the night. And really, sometimes in the middle of the night, it's early. And I get it, and they'll start talking about, this is the story with my girlfriend, blah, 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 or with their boyfriend. So I kind of become like a coach, and I was listening attentively and encourage them, and finally, maybe give a piece of advice. I don't know whether that is correct or not, but they want, so I just gave a piece of advice. And they feel happy, satisfied, and hung up. That's the story. But the problem is that most of the cases, they call back, I don't know, but they call me again within a week, or sometimes even in a couple of days, and start talking about the same thing. Is this a déjà vu? No, I heard this story, I guess 3 days ago, but why not start talking about the same thing? And I told that, I heard this story. Let's move on. And she will say, this is often he, but sometimes she, it doesn't matter. So they come to me and I say that, let's move on. And they say that, yes, sure. But I don't know, for some reason, they come back to the original story and go back and again. This is not always for everybody, but many people was kind of like this. Maybe those people who want to seek for advice are the type of the people, but I was wondering why on earth they are talking about the same story from the beginning. And after that, long time has passed, and I've learned something from the cognitive science. Something fascinating from the cognitive science. Cognitive science told me that people are very bad at thinking about two things at the same time, which means if you think about the past, you're stuck with the past. And if you luckily focus on the future, it's going to change, but the friends, boys and girls who are stuck with the past, I understood. And this could be applied to myself as well. 16 years ago, when I was in the bed, all the negative things came back and back. I couldn't escape from that. I knew that I should stop, but it couldn't stop. Again, I told you that cognitive science told me that if you focus on the past, you're gonna focus on the past for the rest of your life, maybe. And if you focus on the future, you have a future life. So we have to be very carefully selecting which area to focus on. And also, neuroscience adds another aspect to this. Like if you talk about the past, think about the past, the part that is called amygdala will be activated. This is a danger alarm system. So if it's overly used, then you will feel more anxiety and more stress. On contrary, if you talk about the future and think about the future, there's a place that is called prefrontal cortex. This is responsible for planning and creativity, which obviously sounds like a future thing. And it also works to release the dopamine, the chemical that is a source of our motivation and happiness or energy. Using all the knowledge, now we know that focusing on the future is so important. And the question that leads to the future is powerful. Research suggests that what next kind of question will gear you up for the action. Just like writing down all the things that I need to do tomorrow morning will light in your room and kind of give the power to you. So I'm going to another story. Now it's 38 years ago. When I was in junior high, I was playing soccer with everything I had. In an important match, we wanted to win this game. We are behind by one score at the very last minute. The opponent sent in a beautiful cross. So I myself had been a defender, so I rushed toward the ball where it would fall and tried to trap that, and somehow I trapped it. And I need to kick this ball somewhere, and found that the captain, who is a fast runner, was rushing towards their opponent's goal. And I need to kick this ball there. If I kick this ball, it goes there, and he equalizes, then he's going to be a hero, and I'm going to be a hero as well. So I was so excited, and I decided to kick the ball with my full power. But something happened. I think the ball is responsible for that, but it hit the wrong place of my right foot, and it drew a beautiful arc. Instead of going to the captain, it drew a beautiful arc toward my own goal. Gone. It's gone. And now we are behind 2 scores. Game is over. I'm stuck. I was crushed. I don't even remember how I went back to home that day. For a week, I was kind of lost and I couldn't recover, dwelling on the past. And the coach couldn't stand that. He came to me and talked, Kazu, let's practice for the next game. Next game. I didn't even think about that. So I didn't even think that there is a next game. So applying this to the lesson that I went through 16 years ago. I think I had a flash feeling that next word came to my subconscious. And immediately after that, I thought about the things that I can do next. And now I know that just thinking to the future will help us move forward. After this, we've done a lot of research and trial and errors, and somehow developed this idea into something what we call feed-forward thinking. Tonight, if you find yourself worried about something and maybe having some trouble going to sleep, I'd recommend that you would ask yourself, what is the very thing that I can do to move forward? And write it down and let that question carry you toward the future you want. Thank you for listening. And before closing, I have one question that I want to ask you. How do you want to live from now on? Thank you very much.